Welcome back to Retro Wednesday at the Kerium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I'm going to talk to you about the 1986 Bravestarr Fort Kerium. I'm continuing on this trek of reviewing as many vintage playsets as I can. I think the playset is a staple of a line, and it's a lot of fun for display. So today I'm going to talk to you about this playset. I think it's awesome. Got an Easter egg for you also, and I'm going to try to put a little something special in every one of these videos that I know for a fact nobody else is going to do. Talk about all this coming up. I want to start by showing the sheer size and scale of this playset. Now these are about 8-inch tall figures. They're not the 10 or 12 inch, but they're definitely not 3 3/4 inch. They were big for the time, big for the era, and they had to have a big playset to go with it. This almost looks kind of like a Barbie playset in a way, but it does look good, and it has a lot of function to it. It kind of has that old-timey Western feel with a bit of a modernized touch to it, and just looking at the overall thing, it's big. And looking at it, you tell it's kind of an Old West town set on New Texas. It's also made up of 3 different components. It has the bank on the left, the command center in the center, and the Planetary Gel on the right. Now, a little history on this. It actually was sold in 3 different configurations. Configuration number 1 would be like you see in front of us. You have all 3 of them in one box. Configuration number 2 would be just getting the command center right here in the front of it. And configuration number 3 would just get the bank and the gel. Now, I think they did that for a multitude of reasons. One reason would be that you have different price points. Obviously, the command center by itself would be cheaper than the bank and the gel, and of course, the whole playset together would be a better value, but would be the most expensive of all. And then, as you can get to later, I'll show you the modular functionality and all of these different options of what you could have done or you still can do today. I want to show you from this angle right here. This is the connector piece that would connect these together. So evidently each one of these is its own standalone building, can stand all by itself, and then you just connect it with just this little piece of plastic. It's kind of a it's actually pretty rigid, but it gives a little bit. And the thing is that this configuration that it's set up right now is only one of many configurations that you can set it up with. As you can see, if you disconnect this piece and you slide the whole command center back, you can make it look a little different. This is what it looks like if you just put them all side by side and make them look flat. Now this does show some gap in the middle, and I do think that the way they display it on the boxes and in all of the art and all of that, with the command center just a little bit in front of the rest of them, makes it look better because there's no gap and no seam in there, and I do think that's the best way to display it. But depending on your size and your area, I actually don't have enough room in my display area to display it that way, so it gets more of this kind of a display setup. So we're going to look at each module by themselves, and we're going to put them together in their attack mode, and then we're going to pepper through all of this, some more fun stuff. But looking at this, this is the Carrion Bank, and it looks pretty simple and pretty plain. We have this little electronic stuff here which moves around and it becomes a fort, and these things spin pretty freely. It's kind of hard to keep them in place there, but it does work. It's okay. Gets the job done. Now, this also flips around when it transforms, and then the stickers on here, now this is really kind of hard to get good solid stickers, and the color of this is actually pretty good. A lot of times this color of here gets yellowed, and moving it around to the side view, you do have the short wall is the inside wall, which really helps. It has to be short to clear something, and we can show that when we do the transformation, but it kind of clears the whole tower stand, and that's why the short walls are on the inside, so when it folds in, it clears that tower stand. And other than that, it would actually be nice for standalone if it had another big wall. So but then again, on the other hand, you can see what's going on in here, which what's going on in here is not much at all, really. And you look at this, all you really have is a safe, and that's all that's going on in this bad boy. And yeah, it's okay for display purposes. Reality is there's not a lot of function, so let's just look at the one little bit of function you have. The little bit of functionality that this actually has is this little cable, and you plug it in kind of sideways like this. Oh. And then you set off the detonator and you blow it up. Which is pretty impressive. Now it's supposed to come with 6 pieces of Kerium, and this is actually a Lego piece. I'm trying to find ways to, without buying the expensive Kerium, to maximize my Kerium deposits, but this was a lot of fun. These little pieces aren't the cheapest thing in the world, so getting a hold of a bunch of extras and having multiple scenes is a challenge. So I kind of bought some extra little Lego pieces that were red. I was kind of hoping this would work as Kerium. There's an episode where they have like some extra potent Kerium that's a little more red than the rest of it, so I just kind of say that's this. I actually got these for a bag of 10 for $4, so something like that. But anyway, maybe it's I think I have 40 of these little pieces and it cost me $10 or so. So we're gonna take a look at the command center, and it is pretty tall. It's pretty wild. You go all the way up here and you can see the flag up top. And they did this pretty much to give it something extra to look at and to make it just look massive. And it does add to the look. It does make it big. It makes it actually harder to store too if you want to keep it all together. So I kind of disassemble it when I store it and display it. But it's impressive. So looking at the front here, it's kind of like a front porch, and it does include this chair for good old Bravestarr to sit in and just relax and hold a piece of this extra Kerium that he's got. And you can tell he's wanting to catch Tex-Hex and Sandstorm there. And then these little posts here, it's kind of funny too because they really only go in one way, and I see people reverse them all of the time, but it's kind of rounded bottom, which goes into this lower part here. And if you reverse it, it just doesn't quite fit right, so I don't like it reversed. I just like it the way it's supposed to be. Now, looking at this from the front, there's this port in here, and it looks like something you would plug that cable into, like you blow the bank up, but I just can't figure out what that port would be for. It's still kind of interesting, but I still can't figure out what it would get used for. And then moving on up here, we have these guns, and they could kind of clip on to any part of the playset. There are multiple places you could clip those guns on, and you can put it on the bank, you can put them on the jail. And say if you happen to like buy a few lots and had some extra ones just show up, you can clip them on wherever you want, however you want, and increase that firepower. So moving on, this thing here actually slides up and down, and I don't know if it's going to so easy, but yeah, there it is. For whatever reason, you can position it however you would like. And I also find that this piece also gives a little support to the tower. And as you can see, my silver is starting to go golden on this. It doesn't look the greatest. I have another tower, but the stickers on this are better, so I like showing this one. And then moving on up, you have a place where you can put someone. So let's say you put Fuzz. Deputy Fuzz. You can't even see Fuzz up there. Okay, Bravestarr looks like he fits really well. I'm not 100% sure what this thing is supposed to be called. I think it's like a spotlight or something, but it's still sort of cool. Moving up a little bit more, you can see the flag. The flag is actually made of just a sticker, I think. I think you literally fold a sticker over itself, and that's it. And these flags do not hold up well. Lucky for me, the shippers that shipped them knew it was an issue and protected every flag that I've gotten, so mine are in pretty decent shape. Or they're not messed up from shipping, so I kind of like that there. Okay, looking at the side of this thing here, it does have some like electronical looking things. There's a snake in there, a sticker, and all of this. So that's kind of cool. I'm not 100% sure what all they were going for with the circuitry and all of this stuff, so it looks pretty good. Move around to the back shot here. What you can see here is, well, when these flip around, you see some electrical kind of stuff going on. We see the computer pads here, and we have stickers on all of that, stickers on the sides of the walls. This looks like a computer monitor, something you would expect to see. And this is just really cool how this is set up, but there's not much action going on in this room. Moving all this way up here, you do get to see this silver platform right here. This silver platform it shocks me that all of the weight of this whole tower is held up just by this piece of plastic plugged in with really small tabs holding it in. And when you convert this thing over, this is where you'll put those extra posts, or they're not really extra, but you won't need them when you convert it. You can't use them. You got to put them somewhere, you got to stow them somewhere, so there it is. And from the side of this, you can see more. It looks like maybe some water level of something going on in here. Was a kind of a strange looking scorpion kind of thing. And I always wondered, you know, why do they have the holes here that you can see where things tab in? Maybe it's if you want to get it apart, you can give it a little push. I don't know, but that's kind of strange that they did that on this set. Next, we're going to get into the Planetary Gel. Now, I do want to say 2 more Easter eggs in this video. This is the Shaman. Now, I'm going to get into doing a full review of all of Bravestarr when I get more stuff, but this is actually not part of Bravestarr. It's just some guy that they threw in there that looked like Shaman, and I've seen people do it, and I was like, hey, I'll get him. I don't even know if it's a KO or something. I don't even know what company made it, but I do want to show you that a lot of my viewers like Transformers, and this is a Bravestarr Transformer, literally transforms from this into that. And so when we get into the review of all of the Bravestarr, I'm going to get deeper into this guy. Now, getting into this Planetary Gel a little bit more, a little deeper into it, as you can see, they have seemed to have caught Tex Hex. He was wearing his giant backpack and it slowed him down. So there's some play features with this that are actually pretty cool. We're going to have a look at it and rotate it around real quick. And this one, unlike the Command Center, which I didn't show it, but it doesn't have a flipping thing because the front awning, or whatever you call that, slides up. But that's kind of cool how it flips around like that. And the reason it does that is when it goes into its fort mode. This has also got some brick, like they shot through the paint or whatever, and the brick is showing. So I guess in the future they still build things with brick. So that's a good prediction, right? Not the stone and all of the different color stone that we use now, right? Sliding it over, we do have some accents, like there's more brick, but it doesn't give you the stickers. I hear a lot of people complain about wishing they would have had more stickers for it, and I kind of agree, because once you see that and then you see this texturing over here, you kind of wish it had some color to it also. Here's the side of it, and it's got some more stickers, and would have liked to have had even more, but I think it would have kind of sucked originally getting this and having to put the stickers on. I like that I got mine used, and it already had the stickers. Now you get around here to the gel cell, and Fuzz has the key. Now, I don't think that this is a different key than what comes with his, the Fuzzmobile, his cart. But when you put it in, you rotate it around, and you can open this gel cell, and you can take this guy out. So you can remove old Tex Hex and get him out of here. And there it is. And now we're going to flip it back around. I am going to show you, this does have these little tabs here are how you tab the walls in. It's pretty simple construction how you put this thing together, and then there are tabs in the main section here that tab into the side, and that's how it kind of holds together. And then you tab that together and you clip this here, and these little front porch pieces hold on to it. Just simply, everything just kind of clips together, and it's real simple to assemble. A lot of fun. So another feature of this gel cell here is you just plug this thing here in, and you push the detonator in, blow it open. What, you want to see that again? Blow it open, blow it open, blow it open, blow it open. Now, people talk about some sort of an infrared sensor, which I don't have and I don't know about, that you can use with either the backpack or the gun to shoot, and then you would connect, if an infrared sensor that's connected to something like this, that would also do it. I have not seen that before. So if somebody knows more about that, I'd love to learn more about that. One more function of this gel is that it does have this telescope, which you can have somebody look through the telescope, and it's interesting. Let's get this fort transformed up into defense mode. So one thing you got to do, we're going to start with the command center. You have to make sure that these guns are going to be somewhere that makes sense, so out of the way of this piece that folds up. And when you fold this up, you do see a lot of really cool stuff going on in there. You can take these pieces off and we can clip them in the back when the time comes. moving back down to here, we're going to lift this platform up like so, and we'll bring the gun out, but we're going to form it before we bring the gun out. Okay, we're going to flip this around and get into defense mode, which this actually really makes no sense, that like a defense mode, because part of the defense mode is pushing this piece up, and then you create a gun. Now we can fold this back, and when you do the gel, gel operates the same way, and trying to you fold it down and then you kind of tab these in. That's done. We fold it closed. Lift up the gun on the command center. It's cool because there's little tabs here that'll hold this in place. And this flex plastic feels like the Jawa Sandcrawler door. Final step is going to be lifting this whole unit up. And that gun does not like to stay on to save its life, but it's going to stay on, by golly. And there we are. And here's the Fort Kerium Playset in its battle mode. Looks good. It is really cool how this thing looks. Just a quick size comparison, I kind of put a Destro on here so that you can see in his helicopter just how big and massive this is. You could land Destro's copter in there. It's not quite as big as, say, the Terror drone, but it's big. Features include a rotating cannon for defense, the command center gun, some sort of a gel restraining device, and there's room inside for almost everyone. Looking at this, there's quite a bit of space in there. Not a lot of space, but enough that you could fit pretty much the whole cast. If you worked it right, you could also get the Colonel Robot in there, the transformer of this. And of course, you can also throw someone up here. Have you ever wondered what if you had 2 sets or 3 sets, or what would it look like? You could do this if you put several together. From the mine that brought you 9 Death Stars in a circle, the first 9 Death Stars in a circle, that's actually what started my channel, brings you this. Now it's about 2 play sets and some spare parts cobbled together just to make it look like this, but I think it's a whole lot of fun. Now I can't really say I have a way to display this completely, but this is awesome. It's kind of, you're limited only by your imagination when it comes to doing stuff like this. With a modular playset and the direction that we're going, you see Hasbro doing modular playsets, this is the future. But Monty, don't you mean it's the past? Yeah, I guess it is the past. This was made in 1986. And kids could have done this in 1986, I guess, if their parents had enough dough to buy them multiples. I don't think very many kids even had one of these play sets. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of functionality. There's a lot that you can do with this. Good luck to Tex Hex and his gang if they think they're going to get into this Fort Kerium, if they're going to get past all the defenses. And I do want to bring up a downside to the toy line. There's only a few figures on each side, so you kind of have to have doubles to make it look like you have a full crew of anything going on. But it also makes it a little bit easier to collect because there's not as many figures to go after. Let's say you wanted to do some modular world building and you had maybe some extra components of a Fort Kerium and could build it up. You could almost make this look like a town. You know, it could be a Wild West town of sorts. You could actually build yourself any sort of Wild West theme. What could it be? Zorro? Could you do the Lone Ranger? Could you do Galaxy Rangers? No guts, no glory. Well, you gotta have guts to pull something like this off. So as impressive as this may be, and we don't have to use this piece right here, I think a different configuration for a city would actually make a whole lot more sense if you were doing a Wild West display, and I'm about to show that to you. I always envisioned a configuration sort of like this, where you kind of have an old town country feel, the Wild West feel. You're walking down this and you do a whole lot of fun scenes and a whole lot of stuff with it. Maybe Bravestarr just won a Tex Hex shootout or something, but this would be a great way to display it. If you had even if you just had one set and you got a couple extra components here and there, it would be worth it. The set's not really that expensive unless you buy it 100% complete. If you buy a couple of lots incomplete, kind of like I did, you can get a whole lot more out of it. And I just kind of pieced one together and picked up extra parts and pieces along the way so I could do something like this and set up multiple different scenes. Kind of with this, you see the good guys, bad guys on one side, good guys on the other. Then they meet in the middle. So this has been my review and overlook of the vintage 1986 Mattel Bravestarr 4 Kerium playset. I really hope you enjoyed it, got a little bit out of it, and maybe you learned a little thing about this playset. Maybe some of you never even knew it existed because I didn't prior to 2020 myself. So it was a lot of fun trying to learn how all of this worked and went together. Like and subscribe, and Kerium Hanger out.